didn't record. Hopefully this is recording. So, looking at everything from the mind of God instead of the ego. So last night I had this huge outpouring, as I said, of pain and suffering and grief and attachments. Huge outpouring. Where everything was just too much. But it all had to come out. It all had to come out. And it did. It all came out. So now we're looking at creating everything from the mind of God, from the mind of love. So how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And so I thought I'll do this video. I tried to record it before, but it didn't record. I don't know why. Because I want to be able to refer back to it next year when I work the course again. I want to refer back to lesson 45 again. To see everything from a new perspective, from new thinking, from love, from kindness, from compassion, from the point of view of neutrality, rather than getting caught up in the pain, the suffering, the ego, the games that the mind plays. So let's start with something simple. I mean, if you can't think of anything easy peasy to think of from the mind of love, I mean, look at that tree in the Positivity Center, for example. It's beautiful. The whole place is beautiful and green, and look at that tree. There are ley lines here, and this place makes you feel very calm and very relaxed. There is definitely something about this place, and I think that's why I'm drawn here. It feels comfortable, it feels safe, it feels relaxed, it feels healing. I just wish it was warmer. It's really cold today. And I'm sitting in the car, and I haven't got the engine on because it's so cold, and even the engine won't. So today, as I said, it's not about analyzing, it's about staying in the body, staying in the heart. But the Course is saying to us to come from that mind, the mind of love, the mind that in your heart, your spirit, your love, your kindness, your gentleness, your compassion, come from here. Come from here, don't come from here. Don't come from the past, don't come from the future, don't come from, we're coming from fear. When we're in the other mind, we're coming from fear. We're coming from all that other stuff from the past, the future, the body, age, worry, grief, fear, panic, anger, rage, whatever, frustration. So it's all about coming from the mind of love instead. And so sometimes it can be just a simplistic thing like looking at a tree. The other mind that I have, the mind that I've grown up with, the mind that has been dominant in my life is the mind of loneliness, the mind of abandonment, the mind of not wanting to go home to an empty home. The mind of the weather being too cold here. The mind of grief, as I say, this is what you're brought up with. This is what's put into your head. This is the past. This is what you're brought up with, and you pick up from other people, your ancestors, your friends, your family, their belief systems. So the Course is saying to you, no, be like a newborn babe. Start again. Start from the beginning. Come from the mind of love, a new attitude, a new perception. Nature, beauty, kindness, love. And yet my heart feels sad. My heart feels sad. Because I'm just working this stuff again and again. So don't deny what you feel in your body. You have a right to feel whatever your body feels. Don't take that away from yourself. If feel sad, then feel sad. If you feel angry, feel angry. If you feel frustrated, I feel sad. I feel very, very sad at the moment. Empty, I'd say. Empty. I'm sad. And that's okay. This mind is the voice of people saying, oh, you're not allowed to be sad. Why would you be sad? You've had a beautiful day today. You've had a massage. You've been with incredible people. Why are you sad, Lauren? You've got a roof over your head. You've got food. Yada, yada. Why are you sad? I just feel sad. Feel sad. And it's okay to feel sad. That other part of me that loves me says, you're perfect. So what? Feel sad. It's no big deal. You're allowed to. See, that's another thing. Validate your feelings. You're allowed to feel sad. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel unhappy. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel fear. You're allowed to feel anger. You're allowed to feel your feelings and your emotions. You're allowed to. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not. When you start to fight them, that's when the neutrality and the love goes out of them. You start to fight the sadness. If you don't surrender, say, yeah, sadness, come in. Come on, sadness. Hello, sadness. It's like that song, hello, sadness, hello, darkness, you know, from Simon and Garfunkel. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Bring it in. Bring in the sadness. Bring in the darkness. Bring it in. You're allowed to bring it in. You're allowed. You're allowed. What you resist persists, remember. So the Course is saying to us, there is another mind, the mind of love, the mind of God. It loves you 100%. And so it does not judge you. So, you cannot judge yourself when you're coming from that mind. As I say, I'm doing this course not just for you, but also for me. Because the more I watch it, and the more I can watch it in years to come, the more I'll be able to get the message loud and clear and work it on a different level. This year is very deep for me. It's a very deep level for me. It's opening up huge wounds inside me, more wounds than I thought I had. It's opening me up in all sorts of ways, particularly the sacral. So much is opening up in me. Going dancing seems to satisfy a lot of that sadness and fear of getting old, fear of dying. So yeah, be with your sadness. I feel sad and I'm going to stay with that at the moment. And if I fight it, it won't go away. If I stay with it, it will be absorbed in some way. I'm going to put on a coat and I'm going to go and walk in this beauty before it gets dark and pours with rain. Just so I can absorb the beauty of nature before I go back to that house I live in. If you feel like that, if you feel sad or lonely, unhappy, contact me about the miracle retreat that I hope to form. I've been talking to people and to make it a real thing, not just a dream, where we can be together and we can work all this stuff together. So you don't have to be lonely. You can have your own space, obviously, but there's always an alternative, and at the moment there isn't. that alternative. I go home to 2 cats. That's it. And it's not enough for me. Is it enough for you? What is it that you're denying in this life? If you come from the mind of love, the mind of God, which loves you more than anything, what is it that needs to change in your life that isn't working? That's what the course is about. What isn't working? Hopefully when I watch this next year, I will have been able to have moved on, fixed in a positive way, fixed some of the things that don't work, aren't working. Loneliness. I'll be a few more steps closer to creating that commune that I feel, the kibbutz, where people are not lonely, where people can reach out for a hug. They're not lonely. It just feels so wrong to go back to that house, to go back to the nothingness and the memories and the grief in that house. But I don't have to go yet. I can give it another half hour, maybe even an hour. I can just sit here and breathe. Breathe with me, guys. Feel your heart open. Put your hand on your heart and let it open. Let it open. Let it open. Let it open. Send the love everywhere. Send the love to anybody else who's suffering, because the minute you open your heart, God, my head is itchy. The minute you open your heart and start sending the love out, and don't think about it, just send it. As someone said to me today, keep sending the love out. The minute you do that, you connect to another soul, another soul, another soul. It grows, it grows, it grows. And make sure you're grounded, feet on the ground. Make sure you're grounded when you do this. Do what you love. I love you guys. I hope the lesson helps you today. Lesson 45. The mind of love, not the other one. God is the mind in which I think. Or love is the mind in which I think. What does that mean to you? Take care. Love you lots. Bye.